Take two. I think it's time for you to meet Sora. This is my 2018 high roof Transit Extended 350 Turbo Power Stroke Diesel. What a mouthful. If you're new here, heck, I'm practically new here. I've been so inactive. My name is Mo. I did build out a van by myself, and I'm living in it with my two dogs, Harvey and Kahlua, if you could see him over there. I know I promised this video quite a while ago, but I wanted to take some time after I finished this to just see some friends and family and kind of get a feel of what van life is and just have some time to appreciate it by ourselves, because this did take me about two years, 2 months. It was a long time coming, and the feeling I had after finishing it, I just wanted to savor it. It felt so nice. I don't know really what else to say, so we're gonna get into it. MTV, welcome to my crib. Right at home. Got a little mat for shoes off. It's kind of hot. Normally I wouldn't be wearing socks, but I'm not letting the dogs out for free, you know what I'm saying? And if I was gonna make any money off of dogs, I would think it would be the two cute boys that I have, which maybe I should blur their faces because they are adorable. Anyways, this is my kitchen. I wanted to make my build as comfortable as possible for my dogs, so I try to center everything around that. So this is a seat for me or another bed for them, but it also doubles as my fridge. And I don't know if anybody's gonna ask, I have not gotten annoyed by picking this up to get into my fridge. It really doesn't bother me at all. I had to pick my trade-offs, obviously, but this is an Iceco APL 55 liter. I know it's 55. I haven't had any issue with this so far. I've had this installed completely since November, and it is now April. One of my favorite things about this fridge is it has soft close, which is it's just nice. I don't have to worry about it slamming if I drop it or anything. And I have this space so I could actually see what's going on. The display is super easy to read. Controls are really easy. I do think I got this on sale, and they also gave, at least at the time, a veteran discount, so I was able to use that. And I just have this plugged in that runs to my electrical back there, which we'll get into in a minute. Okay, so for my stove, I did get the Rec Pro RV 21 inch, I think it is, and I've had no issues with this either. I did end up keeping, when you get it, there's going to be this little plastic piece. I did end up keeping it, and I'm glad, because the glass does tend to bounce around when you drive, so this just helps keep it in place. But it has 3 burners. It also has an oven, which I was going to try to use to make banana bread because my bananas would be perfect for it, but I forgot baking powder or soda or both, whichever one you need for banana bread. I don't have it, but I've really enjoyed this. This does run off of propane, and I can bring my camera over, but this is my stove. This is a picture from my grandma that I have to frame, but just a regular 3 burner. Got a little stove action, and this is connected to my propane tank. I built a box, and I have the big tank right here. When I'm not using the stove, the propane is closed, just to mitigate any possible issues. There is a hole drilled into the bottom of the van. I do have contingencies to make sure I know if anything is leaking, which I do recommend you do that if you're using propane, especially if you have pets. I know I said no tripod, but turns out in this situation it's going to work, and I'm also remembering why I stopped recording doing the van build and trying to build at the same time, because it takes so much time and I don't have the patience for all of that. I'm also starting to think maybe I should have like planned how I was going to do this, but we already started, so just gonna run with it. I do for now keep my Starlink dish right here just because it's the best place that I have to put it. Ideally, I do think I would move this to the back, which I'll show you in a second, and mount it in the box and put a trash can here. All right, buddy, Scoochie, I'm sorry. I know I'm breaking the sleepy puppy rule, but there's a bug. What is that? Okay, Scooch, Scooch. Thank you. So under my stove is where I keep most of my kitchenware, and probably my most useless thing in the van, but one of my favorites. I do have the second box set for bleach because I started drawing again, and I am such a huge fan, and I just love the art style, and I love it a lot. So under here, I do have a dog box. This is anything that I use for grooming, if they need a bath, which is grooming, some medical stuff, but I do have a whole kit for them up front. I keep my little vacuum here, which is really nice to have when your dog shed a lot. I know sweeping is easier. However, I feel like, especially if it's windy, you have wind coming through the van, that will get blown around and it'll still be messy. Don't get me wrong. If you live in a van and you have pets and they shed, it's going to be a little messy, but you have to pick and choose your battles. So yeah, I have this box, and this is extra pots, pans, and I do keep a few basic things for tools in this box just in case I need to use them, and I'm glad I did because I did need to use these actually. So I think I dropped the jigsaw, but I kept my drill, a few wrenches, and nuts, bolts. Any other tools that I have, I do keep them in the side the side doors. Again, just in case. I have a shovel to dig holes and just a little quick environmental kit if something were to go wrong. I have survival stuff in place. With this, again, I don't get as annoyed having to bend down and pull this stuff out because if I'm parked up in a place, I will wash the two main pots and pans that I have and just keep them in my sink. I like putting them away just to do all this to take it out again. That would piss me off. So they stay in the sink and it's clean, so I don't care. What better place to go than my sink next, since I just brought it up? I have no idea off the top of my head what brand this is, but I will go back into what I ordered and provide a link in the description. I don't have any affiliate links, but if you're curious to what I used, I will try my best to link everything specifically. We'll see how that goes because my memory is terrible. But this is I almost said high-waisted. These aren't jeans. This is a deep sink. I don't remember what it's called. And as you can see, I have quite a bit of space. These are two of my main dishes. I do keep my toothbrush and my stuff for my contacts out just because I use those quite regularly. And if I do use something on the regular, I want to have easy access to it, so I do keep that out. And then I installed all these windows, which gave me such a hard time at first. But I make sure that this had the ability to open because it's right next to my propane. I do have two max air fans, one in the front, one in the back, intake, outtake, or vice versa, depending on if we're sleeping or if I'm cooking. But any of my cleaning stuff, I generally keep right here. I want to start getting flowers, so I do have a vase. I do have a plant, cactus named Dale. I did have a terrarium named Gary, and he did not survive because I forgot to put him in his spot before I drove, and he broke. I did not have a fun time admitting that to my sister. I felt very bad. Anyways, I keep my rice and beans and all my spices under my shelves, which I feel like was a great decision because I constantly reach for these, but they also don't take up space for some of the things that I have up here. Like this side on the left, I generally keep some supplement stuff, dry food. I have stuff to make bread, sourdough on this side, and then over here, hopefully nothing falls, but I have like sauce stuff, cups, bowls. I have storage back here, storage containers, and just stuff. I just started an IBS protocol with a coach, which has helped me a lot so far, and it's honestly not that hard to keep track and find space for everything that I need, so my stomach is good. Also, take a moment, because he's really cute, and then I love this piece. It's so pretty. There's a glare, but hopefully you can see that. I guess before we move on to the next part of the van, I should probably show you under the sink because it's part of my water system. And I'm going to take you out of this because now it's getting me mad. So, underneath my sink, I do have a gray water tank. This is an aqua tank container, and I think this is one of the only things I would change so far in the van because my water tank that's under here is significantly larger than my gray water tank. And while I could get a second one of these, I don't know where I would put it. But paper towels, any other kitchen supply I put in the back, but this just connects to an RV connector. I use garden hose stuff to connect into the top of this, and then pressure system, keep this open so it actually drains. Like that. I did add last minute a water filter right here. And I feel like it was a good idea just because sometimes I don't know where always my water will come from. And I am using this Taste Pure filter by Camco currently. Again, no issues. I liked what I'm using. I think another thing I would change, I need a longer hose because not everything, like when you go and you to places that have water hookups, sometimes they're not in the easiest places to get to. And having a longer hose will help with that. All right, taking a ginormous step in my large house, I know. This is probably one of my favorite things that I did add to the van. This is my closet. I have my toiletries up here. This is just whatever I use a lot for like my hair, my skincare, it's in there. These are supplements. Why can't I English today? Anything I have electronic wise is here along with my 2 D&D books. I do have all my camera and drone stuff in the center here. And I don't think you can't see. I have some clothes storage right here. I have my clothes split. I have my clothes split in a specific, oh my gosh, I have my clothes split up in a specific way. So these tend to be my nicer clothes. Like I have my jeans, my nice shirts, and like leggings and athletic shorts. I have a Trelino compost toilet. I'm going to be honest. I only got that because my mom made it a big deal that I would have to go to the bathroom outside. And as I've said on this channel before, I'm prior military and I'm used to doing that. It doesn't bother me at all. But just in case anybody else comes along and they don't want to do that outside, I have the option. And then I keep my toilet paper and wipes down here. And I went with super simple latches on everything. Easy to replace. Yeah, they have not failed me yet. Now on the other side is kind of more of a living space to me at least. You can see I have my monitor mounted to the wall. This is an Asus gaming monitor. I have a gaming laptop in this compartment and with my keyboard, my mouse, any other accessories that I have for that I do need. I keep my headset up here. I have this cool little lamp that I love a lot, and it's also Bluetooth. I still can't turn this on every time by myself, but... Oh, are you dead? That's lame. Why are we doing that? I just charged you. Now I look dumb. Please? Or the battery's dead. The batteries might be dead. I might be dumb. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Okay, but look at that. That's so nice. I wanted a mushroom lamp really bad, and I found this. I still want that mushroom lamp, but he will do. Now I have to figure out how to turn it off. Okay. So I do have that. Yeah, okay. But I do also have underneath my desk, which is probably one of my favorite parts of the van at this point, because while I did build this out so my dogs were okay with everything, I've been researching before I built enough to know that I needed this to be a space where I would consider home and would want to come back to, and it just feels like a house. So what I did was add, oh, it's hard to see down here. It's a little dark, I'm sorry. This is only an f4 lens. But I added a bookshelf, so I keep any manga and books that I have on my TBR, mostly right here, and then I have my PC over here. This is my mini ITX that I built, and I will most likely make a whole separate video on that because I'm pretty proud of that build. I've never built a PC before this, and I had help from my friends. Shout out Chris, John, and David for being up with me literally 5 a.m. This took so long to figure out, but what ended up happening is something said it was compatible and it wasn't. And it was a ride that I learned a lot. In hindsight, was enjoyable, but I was not having fun because computer parts are not cheap. And they've only gone up since I built that. So, yeah. Next, speaking of books, because that was a bigger part of what I wanted to include in the van, I also have this. I'm very sentimental. If my friends give me something, I'm keeping it, but I keep my manga up here that I have not read, or I've read all of JJK. I am keeping that to draw some specific panels. We added some artwork right here. And then I also have this shelf, which is like my favorites and some of my current reads. I'm trying to figure out what to show you next. Probably the bed. Yeah. So this is my bed. And this is probably one of the things I will tell you to be careful with because, well, I know you're supposed to plan and everything, and I did. I also didn't really think about this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Don't push me because I really hope that doesn't fall. This is my bed. I'm 5'5" on a good day. This is, if I'm just hopping up, kind of hard to get into. I use my little storage thing I made to hop up into my bed. And honestly, I really don't mind it. I was picking my dogs up in the beginning to throw them up here, but I just let them. I wipe this down every day at least 3 times. So it's clean when I use it. I don't care. But I don't think I'm going to do it right now. I also have to put this in a specific way, but this is actually a queen size bed, and when I pull it all the way out, it comes out to where my closet is. And it's really nice having a queen size bed because I would like to say my dogs give me space when we sleep, but this morning I woke up pretty much in the crack over here and Harvey acting like he's 3 times his size. So yeah, this pulls out. I do have to come outside and drag the bed back into this couch position before I can push it in on this. And again, I don't really mind it that much. It's just when it does rain or if it's raining hard, I'm probably not doing that because things will get wet and I don't like that. All right. So now for decoration, I decided to add these metal posters from Display. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite series of all time. I got an Ikigai poster, a thing from Elden Ring, and an Interstellar poster. And then again, if my friends give me something, I'm not giving it away. Keep my Xbox controller up here, and then I have a MoFi router, if you can see that. And I use that for internet, and if I have service, it works perfectly. And then I keep some drawing stuff over here, my Kindle, and I take like the little Polaroid camera. I've started a journal where I just keep track of where we stay. And these cabinets, okay, nothing fell. This is like my craft cabinet. I wanted stuff to just do while I had no service, so I do book journal, I journal about where I've been, and I just started embroidering a sweater, so this has been added. And yeah, any additional lights that I want. I keep my journals here, and then these are more clothes. So on the top, it's like underwear, whatever, socks, shirts, and then miscellaneous. And in this back one, my arms are short, so we'll see. Okay. I have my puffy coat, some sweatshirts, and extra cleaning rags. We're gonna go into the back from the other side just so I could open the doors, but I do keep a dog bed back there, which they love, honestly, because when the doors are open, they can look at everything. They have another dog bed in the front, and when I am stationary, my guitar stays in the passenger or the driver's seat. But when we're driving, I just throw it on the bed, and honestly, it's never moved once. And any dog supplies I have up here, I keep my hats. I have a med kit, my dogs have a med kit, I have a trauma kit, flashlights, and a solar thing. So yeah. I also made like a windshield cover. Works pretty nice. It's neat. I like it. It works. So now, I'm starting to think maybe I should have planned this because I am like a closet yapper and I will just talk, and obviously short attention span. So the white balance is, God, this is really blown out. I'm sorry for a second. I took the ND filter off because it was darker. But on this door is where I keep all my shoes. And I honestly really like this setup. I got this idea from my friend Brian, and it's fantastic. I love it. I also have a bleach poster right here, and I mounted my snowboard in the back. This is where I've kept my dirty laundry. I have a 35-gallon water tank. Hey, buddy. I'm so sorry. Can you move? Scoochie. Scooch. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna move this for a sec. I'm sorry, buddy. We're gonna put you down right here. This is my diesel heater, which honestly was a nightmare. I will be making a video about this because I just have to throw it together. I have a different diesel tank than everyone has, and it was for some reason very hard for me to find the specific adapter that I needed. But I think there's two sizes, and this is the smaller kilowatt one. I would recommend, if you have a extended or larger version of the van, make sure you have the larger version of this. Did you get it? Are you camera shy? He does that sometimes. He's so dramatic. I did add a shower, which is nice because with it being outside, if the dogs get into something, which they do, I can just give them a bath and it's really not that hard. But that's the wrong way. So this is my, again, it might be a little dark, but this is my 35-gallon water tank. I have this over my wheel well, and I'm using the Seaflow accumulator and the SureFlow. I'll get the exact model, but these have worked great. I have not had any issues. If you're worried about doing stuff like the water or electric, just think of it, same thing with the PC. If you think of them as just Legos, it makes it honestly a lot easier to get these jobs done. But I just have a single line splits. So one goes to where my sink is and the other hooks up to my shower. And then I do have a dump just in case. If you've not thought about that, I highly recommend putting that in because you don't know what if you have to like prep for the winter or just something goes wrong? You just have the ability to dump the tank. And I have my water switch right here. You know, now that I think about it, I feel like this is very messy of a way to show everything, but then I realize all of these that I see on YouTube normally have a second person. So yeah, I have this little storage cubby right here that I keep all my cold winter gear. I have some waterproof bags, whatever these things are called. They're called two different things. They're for your boots. Crampons, I think, is one of them, but I have 2 pairs of that in case anybody comes to visit. And I just use regular locks. I haven't had problems with these at all. In this, it's just a little storage, so this is the opening. It goes to the back right here. I have my Patagonia bag back there that I use for showers or any kind of travel. These are band stuff. These 2 things are band stuff for the gym, and then I do have my gym bag back here. I'm not gonna open that because I think at this point he'd be a little mad at me if I asked to move for the 3rd time. Will this stay? I think. Oh, that was almost bad. That was almost very bad. Oh god. R.I.P. my camera. Okay. So this is also, these are like ship doors. I forget what specifically they're called, but if you can find them, these are so much easier just to have installed. They look nice, finished. Yeah. So if you can, do that. But this is my electrical setup. Please don't come for me for the way this is set up, because I did my best. My friend Joe really helped me out to get started on this because I was terrified of doing electric for the longest time, and it's probably one of my bigger holdups. But this is what I got. It's a lot of wires. So what I did end up doing before I finished this, I added a second solar panel just because I wanted more intake. When I did I wouldn't even say all my research. This was before I really looked into electric stuff. I got the van and just wanted to go, and electric was probably the one thing I should have spent more time on in the beginning. But I contacted, I think it's Light Harvest Solar. I do have like their little package that they send me of all the info of everything that I have and just who they are. And you explain to them what you want, what appliances you're using, and they will just give you whatever you need to get. If I did this again, or if I was new, I would just do extra research to figure out what you actually need and what will suit your needs. They're great. There's no shade to this company at all. They were fantastic. They answered a lot of my questions. And I think I could have saved a little bit of money and been better with my space. Just on the roof, like adding the second solar panel, I could have had like better wattage up there. So my batteries, I do run 4 LiPo batteries. They're bigger. I think they're 800 amps, milliamps. I don't know. I'm just going to refer to that paper, but I have a pretty big setup for electric. I wanted to make this so I could be off grid for as long as possible while also having service, because I am in a master's program, so I do need something consistent to get my schoolwork done. But I'm using a mix of Victron and Renergy back here, and then I do have my big ass inverter. I did not know that was going to be that big. Also part of the reason why the setup is the way that it is, and I'm kind of glad that the bed did end up being as high as it is because I ended up needing the space. But we have a quick control right here. I forgot to show you my controls up there. And then this is my power control panel. Super simple. These are all my fuses, my AC fuses. That's really it. This was a little different than a normal panel, just the way that you have to install everything. I don't know if you're gonna... Oh, it's so dark. I should have brought a light. My camera is about to die, so... Yeah, I should have planned this out better. But yeah, I'm gonna go show... this. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Woke him up again. I've committed a sin like 4 times in the last 20 minutes. I feel so bad. And I have a remote for my fans in the front. And I have one in the back. This is my dimmer switch for my LED lights. And then I do have 4 puck lights. 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the kitchen. And I keep my bag and these blankets right here. These are for the dog specifically. Shout out Brandy. She made them when we were visiting in Colorado. And the only other thing I try to do is keep like inside clothes on the bed, outside stuff like shoes or clothes separate to try to keep this more clean. That's it. That's Sora. This is where we live now. Yeah. This is what we have been enjoying this whole time that I have been off channel and when I've not been with my friends visiting. And it's been surreal. The experience has been so nice. Like, I can't explain. Well, I guess I can. Like, why would you want to do this? When I go into the woods, like right now I'm in Georgia, and there's just something about hearing the wind and the trees and the leaves, and there's always birds right now. I don't know if you heard that, but there's always this like gentle sound. And in Colorado, it was in the mountains when I was by the lakes or whatever, like the rivers, and there's just something about being in these places where the part of my brain that never turns off, and it just lets me feel like a person. Anyways, you did not ask for that, but if you made it this far, thank you so much, because I know I was a little all over the place, but I didn't want to put pressure on this video either, because I want to be more consistent now in doing this. And I feel like if I am just acting as I am, it's going to be easier for me, because I refuse to act like I'm in the service industry again and be super nice and put on a server voice and be like, yeah, this is my social media. I'm not doing that. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about my build, please leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to include everything that I've used in the description of the video, and I hope you guys continue to follow along, because we're just going to be traveling around and I'll be showing hikes, what I'm reading, and just pretty much documenting my life. And hopefully, I think I have a pretty neat personality, so hopefully you find some interest in what I want to share with you. So thank you again, and I will see you next video. Hey, you want to say bye? Yeah, sweet boy. I'll move your bed back, I promise. And here's Kahlua. I don't think you guys actually got a proper introduction, but here's the baby.